Page 2, Fiesta. Now I have a certain way I approach a new piece of music. And it works pretty much on all the music I approach. It's something that I sort of developed over the years, and you'll develop your own approach. But for the videos, I use my approach. In case you're wondering, what is he doing now? Well, we'll cover everything. I just like to do it in bits and pieces. So first I like to look it over and see what's here, sort of, in a general way. And I see it's in 3/4 time. The key is C major. There's no sharps or flats in a key signature. If you've had key signatures yet, I have no idea. I assume you do because you've got pedaling already. I don't know. And we got eighth notes and quarter notes and dotted half notes, and I see at the bottom of page 2 there's a first ending. There's repeat signs there, and top of page 3 there's a second ending, and then on page 3 we also have a first and second ending in the middle there with repeat signs involved. Okay, sort of an idea of where it's going. And I like to cover the notes and the rhythm and the fingering. I'll do it one hand at a time. Now if it's a simple enough piece for me, I can do it both hands at a time, but for the sake of these lessons I just do it one hand at a time most of the time. So let's start with the right hand and just make sure we got all the stuff going on in the right hand covered. At the beginning you're starting out with 2 and 4 here, so you're sort of in this position. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and then you have one measure of rest, and then the third measure is 1 and 2 and 3 and then you have a measure rest, and then the last measure, the first line, now it's an E flat. And all of those E's in that measure are flat. Remember the rule for accidentals, it applies from that point on for the rest of the measure. So all of those E's are E flat. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and. The next line, we do some more of that. Let's go to the last 2 measures of the second line. It's an E flat, and remember that A flat applies to the rest of the measure. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and so forth. Top of page 3, we're back to the E naturals again. They don't have to give you a natural sign there. It's an E natural anyway, because it's a different measure. So it's an E natural. That, for the most part, is the right hand. Left hand, you're starting out here. Second finger on C puts you in this position. Remember, a dotted half note is the same as 3 quarter notes. Just memorize that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so forth. Let's go down the second line, the last 2 measures. It's a G and a C, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Next line is G and a B, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Over on page 3, at the bottom, last line, all of this, you've already had this, not a problem. And then the last 2 measures. The notes are written here, but it has an 8 VA under it, so you got to go down an octave. So during the rests, you got 2 beats of rest, you simply come down here into this position. You go from here to here. So it's there, down here. Then we put the hands together. Now we're here. So this is where they say middle D position. Well, I have a problem with that name because it's a little misleading. There is no middle D in music. It's not in the music, it's not on the keyboard, there's no middle D. They're calling it middle D position because in the position both thumbs are sharing the D. Because this could be a middle D position, this could be a middle D position, down, I mean it could be all over the place. But the point is the thumbs are sharing middle D, or D, excuse me. So it's one hand or the other will get it, and the music usually tells you which. See, the right hand in this piece, the right hand's going to play the stuff in the upper staff, and the left hand's going to play the stuff in the bottom staff. So where the D is, which staff will tell you which hand plays it. So at the beginning, together, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 1 and, don't forget the E flats, 1 and 2. Then the second line, last two measures, you're here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, so forth. And for the most part, that's the whole piece. It's just kind of these little things you did over and over and over and over. Now once you got a handle on the notes and the fingering and the rhythm, okay, then I put in the articulation. That's the accents and the staccatos and whatever else, the slurs and stuff. So at the beginning, there's an accent on the C. Just play it a little louder than you normally would. And then we have staccatos. I'm going to use a light wrist staccato. Short staccatos here. So forth. Go over the second line, last two measures again. Staccato both hands. Slur. Staccato. Now those are not staccato, so hold on to those. So forth. And that's the articulation. The rest of it is pretty much a repeat of that. Till you get down to the bottom of page 3, last line, last two measures. The notes, remember the left hand had to go down. All of these are accented, so you give them all a little extra. And I would separate these. So forth. That's an E note from there on. And once you have an idea of this articulation, and then I add the dynamics. Well, it's loud, and this applies to the melody, wherever the melody is, because it's going back and forth between the hands. And you have to decide what loud is. It's not an exact value. It's a range. Where you are right now, what is loud? What seems loud? And that's here. It's the left hand. The right hand needs to come down to maybe a medium loud or medium. Just keep it under. B is accented. The accents make the notes very loud, just for that one note. And then you have an airpin, decrescendo, down to soft. So each note gets a little softer. Now the right has to be very soft. There's no accents here, of course. What's the point in an accent if you're going to play soft? Then second line, third measure, you have another hairpin, arrow, something. To get loud, you're only going up to medium loud. But now it's the right hand. You have to blend it. Here, and the left hand has to be soft. So forth. And so work out all the dynamics throughout the whole thing. Then we think about the speed. Andante moderato's sort of on a slow side of, or the casual side of moderato, in the middle somewhere. And that's the feel of it. Not fast or slow. It's my opinion of what it is. It'll be different speeds for different people. Don't play it real fast and don't play it real slow. Stay in the middle somewhere, and you can stay on the slight slow side of the middle. That makes no sense at all, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. Yeah. Then on top of all that, they've added pedal in a few places. I'm going to push the pedal down right after I play the note at the beginning. And I'm going to, in this case, I'm going to raise the pedal with the hand. Both hands are going to come up. I'm going to raise the pedal with them, so there's a little silence before I go to the staccato note. So it's here. Every time. idea, I hope. Let's go to the top of page 3. Again, the note down first and then the pedal, and then I'll raise the pedal with the hands. Forth. At the end, the last line is, all the last 2 lines are pedaled the same as we pedaled before, and you don't pedal the last 2 measures, you just play them accented and loud. So you go ahead and learn it, so no hesitations anywhere. You got at whatever speed you choose to go, and I'd like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics, just the notes and the rhythms. I'll do the articulation, I'll do the pedaling. We're going to take all the repeats and the first and second endings and everything. So I'll give us 3 counts because it's a 3/4 time. And let's play this together slowly. 1, ready, go. Second ending. Repeat. Second ending now. Rest, rest. Rest, rest.